All right, today is a presentation day. It's a fun day. It's a fun day. So, Team Chester will go first, and a special request, and then DP will be the second. Okay? So, if you have any preference, the order of the presentations, please let me know. Okay, we're gonna start very soon. Okay? We're gonna start very soon. We have almost everyone here. Great. All right, Baldwin, wanna go third? Okay, Baldwin, wanna go third? Any team is in a special situation, please let me know. Okay. So any team is in a special situation that impact the order of presentations. Please let me know. Okay. All right, so we have Chester, Dickey, Baldwin. So we have 5 teams. 5 teams. All right, great. We have everyone here. Okay, great. All right, so let me start. Okay, it's at 12 o'clock, so let me start. All right, so today we are gonna have presentations, right? Presentations. It's a fun day. It's a fun day. So before we do presentations, I'm gonna make some announcements. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about simulation practice round 1 and 2. All right. So simulation practice rounds, okay? Just practice rounds, huh? So you just familiar with this game, okay? You understand the mechanisms, okay, of this game in the practice round. Then you move to the regular competition rounds, okay? So all the data, all the records will be removed, okay? Reset a new game, okay? In the regular competition round, okay? So the thing you should remember is that strategy you have seen in the practice round will be changing. Okay, so think about that. Other teams, okay? They will change their strategy because you already knew their strategies. Okay, so you cannot expect the same situation in the regular competition round. Okay, compared with the practice rounds. Okay. All right, so we're gonna talk about that. Then we've done all the textbook part, so we're gonna focus on the competition round. Okay. So the simulations. So regular competition round 1 is due April 1st, 7 p.m. All right. Then regular competition round 2, actually, not 1. Okay. Is due April 4th, 7 p.m. This schedule are exactly same as the one in the on your syllabus. So if you any confused, with the schedule, look at the syllabus. Okay. So your exam 3, the last exam, okay, mean is 34 out of 36. It's great. Okay, so mean is 34 out of 36. Standard deviation is 2.13, so 2 points. So it looks great. So as a whole group, actually you are doing great. Okay. The problem we can expect is, so almost everyone is doing great, okay, in this semester. So your score will be inflated. Okay. So even you have a good scores in the test or some other dimensions of the grade, then it is very hard to have A plus or something like that. Okay, because you are doing great, but others are doing great too. Okay, so I just want to say this. Okay? Please keep up the good work. All right. So your simulation will be a very important factor to determine your the total grade. Okay. All right. Then I just want to remind you that you go ahead to Canvas, and under the quiz you can find the presentation 3. Okay. BUS499A presentation 3. So you can evaluate. Yeah, the presentations, including your team. All right, including your team. Okay. So you can go ahead on Canvas, then you can find BUS499A presentation 3. Then you can evaluate the presentations. Okay. All right. So any question, comments before starting our presentations? It will be very casual conversations. Okay. And the last checkup, okay, we are in the if we are in the same line, okay, then we focus on the competition rounds. Okay, so no question, no comments. So any audio, video issues? If you are ready to go, and please say yes on the chatting screen. Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, so Team Chester will be the first. Who is gonna be the presenter? Team Chester, please let me know. All right, Sam. Sam, you are the presenter. Please start your presentation as soon as you're ready.
All right, so this is our results for practice round 2. We are Team Chester. It's me, Drew, Bailey, Bryce, and Mac.
Okay, for our overall performance, wasn't very good, but improvement from the last time. Some of our positives we took from the practice round was less change in current debt. There are more sales this time. There's also a decrease in inventory and did not use as much emergency loans. The negatives to this, we still no cash. Need to make changes in our investment and change in cash, like we said, and net profit declined again, but less than first round.
All right. So actually, you used emergency loans. That means actually in the real situation, your company is default at this point. So it's a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
You can avoid emergency loans by setting up sound, acceptable, financing strategy. So use your financing resource as much as possible. Also, you need to think about you need to predict your sales because that will be incoming cash. So sales prediction and financing strategy will be very important to avoid the emergency loans. All right, make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, great.
All right, so I just wanted to highlight some things that it's really important in round 1 because there's some things you can't change, like a number of products. I think last time I said we had 1 product, but apparently we had 3 products. I think when we were playing around with it, we accidentally made 3 and forgot to delete them. But they're also all higher end products. There was no low end products. So we kind of like saturated the market in that respect. We also were over leveraged. We took out too much money, and we just talked about the emergency loans. I thought that meant we spent more than we had. I guess borrowing more would have fixed that, but we're also already over leveraged. So we definitely need to change some things there. And then in the first round, we gave out too many dividends to our shareholders, and that was kind of unnecessary and just spent a lot of our cash.
Yeah. Look at this.
What Garrett just said.
Discrepancy. It's an ironic situation because you didn't make enough profits, but you actually tried, 3 products. It takes a lot of cost and it takes a time, right? 1 year. I already told you so. If you start the project to produce a new product, it takes 1 year. So next year you can release the product in the market. So your profit, your incoming cash is low, but actually you made too much, the amount of investment, number of products. Okay. Also, leveraging emergency loans are just, the consequence of this. Also, gave out too many dividends. Okay. It's a internal consistency. This is an example of internal consistency. Okay, so you made decisions in your market. Okay, then you predict this decision one produce enough cash, but you gave out too many dividends. This is internally, your decisions are internally inconsistent. All right, internally inconsistent. So it's great. It's good because you learn this, you run this at this point in the practice round, then you can have a better strategy in the regular competition round. Good, good.
So when we start the actual rounds, we will take advantage of the broad cost leader strategy. This strategy includes maintaining a presence in every segment, both the high tech and low tech for the simulation. This strategy also aims to keep research and development costs, production costs, and raw material costs to a minimum in order to create a competitive advantage. In our simulation rounds, we will price below average and offer improved product performance to keep pace with the market, offering solid value with low priced products.
Okay, so think about your cost. So it's good to keep R&D costs, production costs, and raw material costs to minimum. Okay, then yeah, it's good. You try, but the way to reduce costs is you need to think about it. Okay, why I spend this? Okay, not just a minimum, right? Not just a minimum, because sometimes you need to spend money. Okay? So not just minimum. So your goal is not minimum, but what is that? Appropriate level of spending. Okay? It should be consistent with your strategy. Okay, so you actually launch it a new product in the high technology segment. Okay, then probably you need to spend some R&D costs. Okay, so the goal should not be a minimum. Okay, the goal should be the acceptable level of spending. Okay, price too. Okay? Pricing strategy is very important in these simulations. Actually, in the reality, very, very important pricing strategy. Okay, so price should be acceptable level 2, appropriately determined. It should be, okay? Not just minimum, not just below the average, because if your market is not competitive, okay, it's less competitive, and your company can determine the price in the market, why not? You have the good level of pricing. Okay, so it depends. it depends on the market. That's why we need to look at the market, okay? Monitor the market. How a team is doing in the market, how other teams are doing in the market. Okay? So it's not just a simple mathematical equation. 1 + 1 = 2. I don't want it. Actually, this simulation is not so simple like that. Okay, so your decision should be consistent with the market. This is external consistency. And your decisions should be consistent among your decisions. If you have a strategy, your departmental decision should be consistent with this strategy. The emergency loan problem is based on the lack of internal consistency. Your strategy is over here, but your financing strategy is not consistent with your overall strategy. That's why you have emergency loans. Okay. All right. So you need to comprehensively understand the market and make decisions to be consistent with this understanding. Yeah. Then you will be okay. All right, great.
And lastly, we have our plans for moving into round one, and we have just so moving forward in research and development, we're going to try and maintain an existing product line and be present in every market segment, and then keep our products up to date. In marketing, we're going to spend modestly on promotion and selling. We spent a good bit in the practice rounds, but this time we're going to try and explore more accessibility options after establishing a new strategy, our leadership strategy. In production, we're going to try and increase automation levels on all the products we've created, and automate in more low-end segments than a high-end that we've been in. And then we're going to prefer overtime to capacity expansions. But moving to finance, we're going to try and not have long-term bond issues. Or I'm sorry, we're going to have long-term bond issues. We're going to be supplementing them with stocks as needed, and then establishing dividend when cash position is where it needs to be. And we expect to keep debt and equity between 2 and 3.
Okay, great. So when you make decisions, this is one tip, okay, for everyone. When you make decisions, you need to understand the industry, all right? Industry means including your teams, other teams. So our industry is composed of 5 teams, 5 companies, okay? So if you don't have clear sense about your decisions, okay, you need to look at what the industry is doing, the average numbers of industry. Then you have some sense. Oh, my industry is something like this, okay? And based on the sense, okay, probably you make more or less, okay, the what is that, spending, or the predictions or whatever. Okay? So you can use these numbers, industry, what your industry is doing. Okay, so the average number of industry will be a, sometimes, not always, sometimes it will be a good starting point to think about your strategy, your numbers. Okay, great. All right, so for everyone, Team Chester says this is a plan for round 1, okay? But there's no guarantee they will do in this way, this game, all right? Okay? So they say plan for round 1, but there's no guarantee, okay? So they present something in the future plans, but you cannot trust, you cannot believe that they will do exactly in this way. Okay, but their strategy can be changing. Okay, all right, it's done.
Yes, sir. That's it.
All right, great. Any question, comment? For Team Chester, any question, comment? All right, good presentation, good presentations. All right, so next is Team Digby. All right, who will be the presenter? Who is the presenter? Team Digby? Erica. Okay. All right, you are the presenter, Erica. Okay, my comments on this presentation can be, it's not team specific. Okay, I don't want to be a team specific. I don't want to make team specific comments at this point. So it is the general comments for every teams, everyone. Okay? So it is just just informative. Okay? Informative. My comments, you can understand my comments as a general tips, okay, for everyone.
Sorry, I'm trying to get it. It's like denying me access to what I need to get to. So 1 second.
All right, take your time. Let me see, Tim Doopy.
Can I share it? How do I share it from like an actual PowerPoint instead of the tab? Because I can't get it in the tab.
All right, any tips for Erica?
I might have gotten it. 1 second.
All right, I see it. Okay.
All right, so we're cash cows, and we'll be talking about practice round 2.
Tim Digby, right?
So, yes.
Okay.
So for the research and development, we added 2 products which spread out on our perception map. So we tried to be able to reach more customers in like different segments. And then we kept trying the numbers until we found the lowest total because we didn't want our costs to go up and then our debt to go up. But we still wanted to allow for the differentiation so then we can see in the actual rounds how we want to have our customer segment to be. And then this section basically gave us the overall idea of what we wanted to do in the other sections because it kind of just like laid the groundwork, and then on how we wanted to market was based on what customer segments we picked here.
Okay.
So to this point, our customer awareness was pretty high, but our customer accessibility was average. And this is because in practice round 1, we primarily focused on our promo budget to kind of get our product name spread out there and just recognition in the market. So in round 2, we lowered the promo budget and increased the sales budget more to try to close the gap between these two. We left our prices the same because it captured the combined high and low tech segment that we wanted in the market. But we also used the perceptual map, as Erica said, to create 2 new products to target each market separately and increase our overall market share, which is high right now as it is. Mm-hmm. We also had high sales and contribution margin for our output, but we only had average profit. And to combat this, we need to lower our variable cost, and we can do this in R&D with the material cost per product, and our production with our labor and products that we're holding. And then lastly, our accounts receivable lag days we left the same, but our accounts payable lag days give us more time to fulfill our payments.
Makes sense.
So for the production and HR, we tried to match what we did in the marketing section of the like amount that we were going to produce. And our estimate, we were only 18 off, so we felt pretty good about that number. And new products were obviously 0 because they're still in the development phase. We had
Right.
0 buy-sell.
Hold on there. Okay. I just want to emphasize this. Schedule, production schedule, match sheet, marketing. Okay. So this is an example of good internal consistency. Okay. So production schedule should be consistent with the marketing schedule. So actually interdepartmental cooperation. Okay, interdepartmental cooperation should be very, very important to make internal consistency. So when the simulation starts, some students ask me like this. Okay, so which one is better, to make a departmental decision separately and combine it later, or okay, they just get together, they make some decisions all together. Okay, so this is a structural issue, right? To make decisions. Okay? So it depends. Is your actually style, right? It's your team style. Okay. But anyway, the important thing is, should be your team decisions, departmental decision should be coordinated in some point. Okay, in some point. Okay? So this is a good example of the consistency, internal consistency between your departmental decisions. Good point. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, so then with our buy sell, we kept that at 0 because we weren't trying to get rid of any products. So obviously it was 0 all the way across the board there. And then with new automatic rating, we kept that at about 4 because it's a scale from 0 to 10, and we felt about 4 was average because we weren't wanting to go completely like on the heavier side of more machines. We were wanting to keep it more of a in-person kind of production. One mistake that we did make, we felt that the complement percentage, we had that at 100%. That was very high for what we were, we were just, from the first round, we had that much lower, and we were seeing what kind of effect that would have. And because of it being so much higher, it really threw off our scale of base capacity and production, which we would have liked to have had more evenly. We also added some recruiting. We added $150 worth of recruiting because of turnover and those kind of things. And so because of the recruiting, we had to add some of the training hours also. So that's pretty much what our strategy was for this.
Okay, so, sorry, had to fix my screen. So for finance, we decided this time to not issue any stock and try to avoid borrowing money so we wouldn't have debt hanging over our heads. We kind of tried that in practice round 1, and it didn't really work. So we wanted to try this. And so as a result, we have no short-term or long-term debt, and we really wanted to achieve independence and kind of forge our own paths without having to worry about, being accountable to paying back loans and stuff like that.
Okay.
So in conclusion, the second practice round, we learned a lot. We learned that we could add products, and it might bring profits down right now, but in the long run, it'll help us. And we learned that there are more options to add and change money accounts, and this helps us kind of make precise tweaks to the company. And a big part of this whole entire practice round was communication. It was a big role in making the decisions and figuring out what we needed to do to be successful.
All right, great. I love your comments, the last comments. Communication and teamwork was a key part in making decisions as a team. That's very, very true. That's very, very true. Okay, so it is very important, communications and teamwork, okay, and making decisions as a team. This is very, very important to make internal consistency among your decisions. Okay, so I want to emphasize this. Okay, I love your presentation too. Okay, and one comment is that, okay, so this is not a simulation specific comment. Okay, think about that. All right, after pandemic, okay, so many things will be changing. Okay, some things sometimes we feel like we go back to the normalcy. Okay, we go back to the normalcy, but it's already changing. Our environment is always changing. Okay, it's already and always changing. Okay, it's already changing. Think about that. Your presentations, online presentations. Online presentations will be more and more will be, more and more what, the normalcy actually. So probably you will have a long-term relationships without physically meeting with someone. Okay, so the skill we practice in the before pandemic, we practice like presentations in the physical presentations, offline presentations. So straightly sit up, all right, and make gestures, okay, and use a whiteboard and PowerPoint or something like that. Okay, so think about that. The very what's it? Typical businessman's appearance in the presentations. Okay, in the office. Okay, in the office, many people sit around. Okay, and then a person stand up, okay, in front and PowerPoint slides, and then make some points with a laser point, and then talk about some topics. Okay? This won't be the standard. This won't be a normalcy, okay, anymore. Okay, you will have more and more online presentations, online meetings. Okay, after pandemic, even after pandemic. So this is good. This is good. So you have a team presentations, but your presentations is improved a lot compared with the first time. Okay, even you are remotely located, but your presentations so far is really nice, really nice. Okay, good. I love to see it. Okay, good. All right, any question, comment on DB presentations? All right, then we can move. The next presentation will be Baldwin, Tim Baldwin. Okay, Tim Baldwin. Who is the presenter? Tim Baldwin? Please let me know. All right, Carson, you are the presenter. Okay, now Carson, you are the presenter. I cannot see it.
How about now?
Okay, it's working.
Okay.
All right, so this is Tim Baldwin. Please go ahead, Canvas, and evaluate the presentations. Okay, this is Tim Baldwin.
Okay. Here is our round 2 presentation. Our results from the last round are that we didn't use any emergency funds. We had $59,409,621 in sales. And this round specifically, we profited $13 million. And then in total, we profited $897,915. Our stock price is at $41.05, and we have a 21.92% return on sales.
This round we decided to focus again on the focus strategy since it seemed to work for our first practice round. We attempted a second product, but we weren't really happy with its projected success in the market, so we decided just to keep the one product at the time just to ensure it was successful for our company and to follow the focus strategy. But we would eventually want to expand into more product lines, though.
All right, great.
As far as our marketing goes, we had increased sales from practice round 0 to practice round 1, so we continue to increase our marketing efforts, except for instead of increasing the amount spent on our promotions by 50%, we only increased it by 16.7%. And when we did that, we also seen a reduction on the increase in sales from 40.7% to 3.5%.
Okay.
Okay, so moving forward, as of now, we plan to continue with our focus strategy until further notice. We had over 2 million more sales in practice round 2 than we did in practice round 1. And we also nearly doubled our profits from practice round 1.
And we've actually decided to try and take advantage of how high our stock price is, which is at $41.05 in order to expand. And in order to expand our market share, we can issue some of our common stock, which will allow us to have more financial assets. And these new financial assets that will result from issuing our common stock might be able to allow us to create new products or even improve our current ones. And if we can continue this steady incline, we should maintain our lead in the CAPSIM.
All right. That's it?
Yes, that's all.
All right, great. This is Team Baldwin. Okay. So probably other teams see how this team is doing, because in my perspective, the decisions made by this team is very optimized. Okay. So it is very promising. All right, this team is very promising. Okay. So you can see well how this thing is doing. Then you can take it for your future strategy. All right. So Team Baldwin actually was focusing on the focus strategy. So their market, their choice on the market. Okay, make it successful. Okay. So it should have good implications. All right. So who is gonna be next one? We have some time. Okay. So we have Andrew and what? Ori. Okay. Andrew and Ori. Team Ori. Okay. So Ori can go next. Okay, so Team Ori. Hannah will be the presenter. So you are the presenter, Tanner. So Team Ori. All right, good.
Okay, so we're Erie and Team 5 for the survey reference. And since our first practice round did not go as well, we decided to look at other groups and what they decided to do, which you just mentioned. So we compared our inputs to Baldwin's because they had performed the best. Here we realized that our product price was extremely low compared to the other 4 groups. So our first decision was to raise our price to $36.30. And this caused our revenue forecast to decrease. So in response, we added a little more into our sales and promo budget. And this allowed us to raise our profits to be $5,000 more than our previous round. And then each round, we have been increasing our automation slightly to decrease our labor costs in the long run. And our contribution margin increased significantly since the last round to the increase in our.
Okay, it's good. It's good to see it. Huh? So look at the price change. Price change. Okay. Hold on. Yes. Price change. Okay. 33 to 36. Actually, it increased. It makes a better margin. Okay. Then your decision should be more optimized. Okay. So it's good. Okay. So good pricing strategy is not just lower your price to find an appropriate price. Okay, so then you need to consider many factors to find a better price. Okay, so pricing strategy is not just lowering your price, finding an appropriate price. Okay? All right, please go ahead.
Okay, and then going off of that, we were looking at our stock price. It rose over $7 to a closing price of $19.41. Our ROE was 16.72 and our ROA was 11.18. And we will look to increase our return on sales. We're currently in second with that. Baldwin has I think 22 is their return on sales. And ours is 11, I believe. And so we're going to continue to do this by continuing to increase our automation to continue to cut down our cost. And then we also could potentially add in a new product at a higher price in order to get more out of those sales dollars for the bottom line.
I think that our income statement does a good job of showing the things that we improved upon since our round 1. It's kind of like a recap of everything. And it also shows that we increased our overall net profit by 348%, which tells us that we're moving in the right direction. And then we can use most of this information in the future to help us determine if the health of our company is strong enough to make more decisions about how we can grow our company in the next rounds.
Okay, great. Good. All right, makes sense. Done?
This Corby, I don't know if you're muted or not.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So kind of like they were saying earlier, we wanted to further implement a low cost strategy. So kind of reiterating what they said, we increased automation to help lower our costs, and along with that, increased our price to just further help with our profit margin. And we knew by increasing our price that we would then kind of be at the risk of
more substitutes or other substitutes. And it was just something we weren't really worried about because we can always readjust our price in later rounds. And but the benefits to this was our number of sales doesn't have to be as great because we'll be more profitable. And obviously, in comparison to the last round, it was beneficial for us because it worked.
Okay, great. Good. Good. This is Team Airy. Team Airy. It's great. It's great. So basically, in the round 2, Team Airy increased the price. Okay. Find an appropriate price and reduce cost. Okay. How to reduce cost? You see one item by items. Okay. If you spend money, why? You need to think, okay, about why. I really need to spend this money? You think about that, okay? Why I spend this? Okay? Then you find the optimum level of spending, okay? This is cost leadership strategy, basically. Item by item, you need to think about why I should spend this money, all right? Then find the optimum level of spending. This is a cost leadership strategy, all right? So in any steps in the business process, all right? Any steps, marketing, R&D, whatever, any steps, right? Then you need to think about, should I spend this level of spending? Okay. Can I reduce it? This is cost leadership strategy. Okay. All right, great. Great. I love all of your presentations. Okay. I love all of your presentations and the lessons you got from the presentation, practice rounds 2. Okay. So next time we have Team Andrew. Okay. Next time we are gonna do Team Andrew's presentation, and then we continue. We are gonna move to the competition round 1. Okay. All right, great, good jobs. I love all of your presentations. I love all of your lessons, all of your learnings, okay? You are getting clearer and clearer, okay, to what you should do, okay, based on your presentations. Okay, great. Any question, comment? If you don't have a question, I'm gonna see you on Wednesday. Then we'll continue Andrew's presentations and regular competition round 1. Okay, good job. Good job. I love it. Good job, guys. Bye.